What's up, guys? Just got sent over a new pair of wireless mics. We're going to try these out and see how they sound. Obviously, I got a nice little boom mic set up right here, so that's what that audio sounds like. But yeah, super cool. So let's just pop them right open, see what you guys get in the box. Ooh, nice little case. All right, so right out of the case, as you can see, it zips up. You got your two microphones right here at the top or the bottom, and then you also got a little receiver right here, which is kind of cool. A bunch of other accessories as well. You get two dead cats for both of the microphones. You've also got a little USB-C, two USB-C cable, and actually it's two. So you got a regular USB-A right here, and then two USB-Cs, so you can charge both mics at the same time. So that's kind of sweet. And then obviously the actual receiver is right here, and we'll look at that in a second. And then they do give you another little adapter if you want to plug this into. It appears to be like a jack, which is kind of cool. Here is what the receiver looks like, as you can see. So you got USB-C on top, you got a lightning, and then you've also got a TRRS to plug into your camera. You got a little power button right there on the back. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there you go. And then you've also got a USB-C port on the side, and I believe a headphone jack, which I think is super cool. So if you plug your headphones into this, you'll hear both microphones, which is kind of cool. So if you got somebody running the camera, they can listen to the audio, which I think is really dope. And you've also got a couple of different icons letting you know which different modes you're in. But yeah, super cool. Works on iPhone, Android, and cameras. Then right here we have both of our microphones, and we can just pop these out. They got a nice square design, has a cool kind of like polished wood type look, but they are mostly plastic. I don't think there's really any metal on these. But yeah, don't feel too bad. Fairly light, but not terrible, which is pretty nice. And you do get two of those as well, which is super cool, packaged really nicely. You've got a headphone jack on these as well, so we're able to plug in our headphones and hear exactly what we're recording, which I think is super cool. Then you've also got your power button right there on the side, as well as a volume up and a volume down, which is kind of cool, so you can adjust your decibel levels right there. And you got a handy dandy little clip right there on the back, so we can just clip that right to our shirt, which I think is kind of cool. So yeah, there you go. You got two of those. Microphone is right there on the top. You can hold them like that, and then if you do want to throw on one of these little dead cats, we can just pop that out. And then it has two kind of like little teeth right here, and those just basically clip right on just like that. And there you go. Now you got a little dead cat if you want to record outside, if it's windy out, anything of that sort, which I think is pretty sweet. Right, so once you've powered it on, it is going to give you a little indicator light right on the top, and we're going to power on our receiver. Just hold that button right there on the back, and that is going to turn on. As you can see, it says our one thing is connected, so it stopped blinking, and we are connected. And obviously it's going to blink, letting us know that the other microphone isn't connected, which is kind of cool. And then you've also got these different modes. There's camera mode, function mode, and they don't sound too different from my experience, so I don't think it really matters which of those you're in, but you can just change those by clicking the little button on the back, and that'll cycle between those three, which is pretty sweet. And these mics do have noise reduction as well as a reverb mode and even a mute, and to enable those, all you got to do is click that little power button. So one click is going to enable noise reduction, as you can see right there. If we click it again, it'll go away. Two clicks is going to enable that mute, so if you want to mute your microphone, you just double click right there. And then three clicks is going to enable that reverb effect right there. Alright, so this is what my iPhone's audio sounds like. We are going to plug it in and try it out. You do sadly have to take off the part of your case to plug it in, which I think kind of stinks. I don't like having to take my phone out of my case. But anyway, this is how the audio is going to sound. Testing, 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 testing. I have noticed that it's like really almost like honed in on my voice. So if I stop talking, it almost sounds like it goes mute, which I think is kind of crazy. So testing, 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 testing. This is what the audio sounds like. Obviously, it's a wireless mic, so now we can move around. If you're outside, you're going to be able to move around and still get that nice clean audio. So yeah, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Hopefully this sounds pretty good. So I just looked over that clip, and it does sound a little muffled when I have it next to me like this. If I have it right in front of me where the microphone is directly in front of my mouth, it definitely sounds a lot clearer, but obviously most people are going to want to wear it clipped to their shirt, so that is what that audio is going to sound like. It's not the best, but again, it is definitely usable. Alright, so now we're going to do a noise reduction test. I have the fan right here, and we're just going to turn that on to max, get that thing nice and blowing. As you can see, it is definitely blowing. You can definitely hear it right now too. So we're going to do a noise reduction test. Going to click it once and see how it sounds. This is what it sounds like currently with the wind blowing on the dead cat. Hopefully it doesn't sound too bad, because that is supposed to help cut out some of that wind noise. But yeah, here's the noise reduction test. We're going to click it once. Alright, and now the noise reduction is on. As you can see, it is still blowing, So yeah, I'm really excited to see how this sounds. A lot of times noise reduction does not sound great, so hopefully this sounds pretty good. All right, so I just looked at that last clip, and it actually did a pretty good job with the noise reduction. It does still sound kind of tinny, like kind of robot-y, but for the most part, did a pretty good job, especially when it was up close. You still barely could hear it, which I think is pretty impressive. And I will also say the dead cat on these really works. If you guys are going to be outside in the wind, like just look at the difference. So this is what it sounds like with the dead cat on. It's blowing directly on it, but it still sounds nice and clear. Whereas if I take this dead cat off of it and then I blow it on it, there is a lot of distortion. You're getting that really like sound that you just don't want. Whereas with this thing on, it sounds so much better. If you're going to be recording outside and it's windy, definitely keep the dead cat on. Overall, it's a solid little mic. Obviously, you're able to move around, which is super cool. The audio quality isn't terrible, especially if you hold it up in front of your mouth. Even when you have it here, it might be a little more muffled, but still much better than just using your phone if you're going to be away from it. You get a decent amount of stuff included as well. Battery life is solid. It says it can last up to 20 hours on one full charge, which I think is pretty insane. So yeah, if you guys are looking for a cool way to upgrade your audio without breaking the bank, definitely worth checking out.